Good morning, everyone. Welcome, Satsang. For those who don't know how this works, we use WhatsApp as a means of communication in that number, which is appearing there for you. So you can send your questions about your spiritual quest, doubts, the ones that are troubling your heart, and I will answer them as they come. Okay, so let's make a little bit of silence first. Take the mind out of the normal functioning. Nothing else exists, just silence. Okay. So today I will speak about a little bit of the quest of the seeker of truth. And this seeker of truth expression may be received as a very broad concept, but it's not. It's really not that broad. Hmm? So when I'm talking about the seeker of truth, I'm not talking about a seeker of well-being. I'm not talking about a seeker of happiness. Neither am I talking about a seeker of bliss, a seeker of truth. And truth stands for freedom. And if truth and freedom stand for the last observations, yes, but if these are the things that you are seeking, happiness and bliss, truth will be very difficult. You see, the seeker of truth has to be has to have moved beyond this suffering question. For stop the suffering to, and that sometimes means to be happy, hmm? But it has to move beyond this. So the seeker of well-being is conditioned by these needs, by the fragilities of the quest of this be happy, avoiding suffering, and all of this. The seeker of truth, eventually, he will be exposed to suffering, intense suffering, whatever is in his path, and eventually he will take it almost as a normal thing. You see, it is a part of life. No, there won't be any tendencies left to make him go away from that. It is normal, it is there, it is a part of life. So this is not the question, not running away from suffering as so the quest for truth as a means to avoid suffering. So the seeker of truth has to have moved beyond this attitude before life, or else is not a seeker of truth yet. See? So the words that I'm going to use, they may be a little bit strange or different or intense, but I'm not speaking to everybody. I'm speaking just for these few, and these will know that I'm speaking to them because they will identify with it. And doesn't mean that everything else is wrong. Everything is right as it is, at the level that it is, and serves a purpose, whatever that means. So the confusion is that there's a difficulty in living the process in its reality and moving according to it. So the mind judges a lot and it makes a lot of noise. And even this is right, no problem. Except for the seeker of truth. The seeker of truth, he has to prepare himself for that journey. He has to, because it is, as it begins, it is a very huge path, at the same time narrow, and a path that you need to qualify to, because it is the last stand, the last part of the journey, and it is wild, wild. So for you which is getting this call inside, that you are looking at life with a distaste for it, even, for example, that you're young, and at the level of the personality, there are these attractions for the world and all the worldly values and all of this, but at the same time, there's a distaste towards it. There's something inside of you that doesn't want to participate in, that wants to move to the highest. So this one that has this call inside, there will be a point as this intensifies that it won't get any rest See, rest will be impossible because this will not allow. So whatever undertakings you begin, worldly ones, you will not be able to finish them because your heart is asking for something else. So these words are more or less for you. So the first things when you're choosing a teaching and you're not being able to listen to your heart, so the first signs you need to look for in the teachings is, are they in any way connecting spirituality with an improvement of life, with health, with relationships, with therapy, with any sort of well-being, any future promises of a happy human life? If you can sense this, the slightest, get away, because freedom, it is something else, completely different. And if you go to these things, you're just nurturing the seeker of well-being inside and renewing dreams and expectations to the future, and this will eat your time, which is very precious one, very precious. If you're not a seeker of truth, it doesn't make a difference. The whatever is the best rule, because eventually life takes care and breaks all conceptions or misconceptions. It does the work. It takes time sometimes, depending on the intensity of your beliefs. But it does the job. It is there for that purpose, and it fulfills it. You see? So these days we are having a lot of confusion. Uh, unfit seekers, unfit masters, whatever that means, and theories, uh, new theories, new spiritual theories that are giving fruits now. They have been here for the last 3 to 4 decades, more or less, and they are giving fruits, and the fruits is all that you are seeing. And this is reinforcing a lot of things, even like giving the point, the confirming all of these new theories, which is, and things are being lost. It's not being lost, it's just disappearing more and more. But they are there and they will always be the same. And this is the most important thing. You see, the seeker of truth, when he gets to that point of the quest, he will have been able to try his level best. He will. And without guidance, it is not possible. Either it is inner guidance or outer guidance. It has to be there. And this guidance, don't confuse it with what is termed these days as the heart. Because, let's say it this way, it has levels. And what is termed these days as the heart, and what am I feeling, and this and that, it's not, it's just a little slight better mechanism than the mind, yes, for sure. So if you have nothing else, you have this, but it has to move on to direct guidance. And direct guidance presents itself inside, if it is inside, as something different from your voices, from these mechanisms that you're used to of the heart, and you will know that it is something different that has come and has said this, or outer guidance in the form of a master, for example. The first, the first in the first example, which is the most sought one, everybody is seeking for this inner guidance because I don't want to go to anyone, to lower myself, to be humble, to do this difficult work. So I will keep my fortress here intact, and then uh, I will continue like I am. So this is very usual mindset. You see, it is a protection that people do to maintain their world and not letting this to be touched. But this doesn't take too far, and at the same time, it is getting reinforced by the experiences that seekers are getting. But is this happening for the right reasons? So are these movements and these experiences concerned to the seeker of truth? They're not. Hmm? Just children playing outside uh, and having children-like experiences. Because the guidance from within, uh, the majority are not able to handle it because it's 100 times or even more intense than the outer guidance. So this inner guidance doesn't speak much, speaks very little. And when it does, when it does, it is very intense. 100 times at least more intense than outer guidance. But for this outer guidance also, there is a characteristic which the majority also is not prepared for this, because even the mindset doesn't allow to make the conception. You see, because usual mindset, you go to a place, you go to a master, you evaluate this and you evaluate that and this and that. And from this point of view, from this position, a real master will not accept you. Because if you're special and you know so much about things, then do it yourself. Why do you need anything else? Do it yourself. So to be able to come close to a master and to receive guidance and to be accepted, you have to prepare yourself. Hmm? This preparation is very important, very important. So there's a lot of literature that speaks about the relationship between a guru and a disciple. And it is there, it is available, and it is important for you to know a little bit about it, because these things are getting lost and very important things are getting lost. Time and mind promises a lot of things. See, but then time clarifies its promises that seem to be some promises, then show themselves to be other promises. So this, as you move inside your fortress with the hope that, oh, I will get enlightened and then I'll be right in all these things and I don't have to change, or what I'm changing is superficial. And I'm not questioning the sincerity of what you're doing, but the reach that can have. Because if you're moving from here using this as an instrument, then there is a very big limit, or it will take too long, because then you will have to realize that there is a limit. To go beyond this, to rip the last parts of your delusion, help is there, it is needed, it is, and more than that, there is a purpose for that. You see, okay, so freedom. And there is a little bit more, and these things, majority, they are not written, or you're not being able to see it. It's in plain sight, but not accessible. So there is a point, a purpose for all these things, you see? But coming close to a master, first you have to be rid a little bit, a lot of your fears, first of all, and your pride, fears and pride, see? So the first part is the fears. If you're still dependent on being accepted, on being appreciated, on being right, and all these things, then it will be very difficult. You will need to go through these things before. You have to develop some inner strength. And this is, you will by going through these fears. So fears are there to help you develop this inner strength. And this is a must, or else you will not be able to take it. Because if you come frightened and shaking, your idea is that, oh no, but if he is a real master, he will put me in his lap and then he will cuddle my hair and all these things. And it's not the way it works, because maybe at some levels, maybe, but to this last stage, it doesn't work like that. You see, if you're coming with your fears, the master will put the fears in front of you, and for you to come close, you have to go through them. If you just do as you normally do, you will go away, you cannot come close. You see, the best comparison of a master is like a big, huge fire. You see, you cannot, if you get too close, unprepared, you'll get burned and run away. So this preparation is very important. So life is presenting you a lot of opportunities for you to work these fears. And the most common fears for the seeker of truth, which is being called to this life because it is a life, not a part-time, is the dependency he has on the world, surviving and being accepted and respected and all of these things. But security is a big thing, see? So you need to go through the experiences that your creativity, if there's nothing else, that your creativity may provide, to remove this fear, this insecurity, this dependency on the structures. You will have to go through it to prepare yourself. At the same time, you must use the questionings that come towards you, all these evaluations and the difficulties that life is presenting you. Use it as a hammer to soften your ideas, soften your personality, make yourself to humble yourself. Because humility is that which gives richness to the soil and makes the seed sprout. Without this, even if it sprouts something, it's like twisted, suffered, and it is struggling to maintain its life. And eventually it will die, or it's just be a very defectuous plant. And pray helps a lot as you practice your meditation, as you're intensifying your spiritual practices. Pray has to be there because sacredness is vital. Awakening, freedom, all of this is interesting, but there is something that is hidden behind these terminologies, and it is the important part. And this is a love story, not a mental story, not a practical story. It is for love purpose only. So if you're hiding in this fortress with your self-righteousness, you're the one who is losing. But time will give you this and you will see. Because as you are young and as you move to 30s, 40s, there's still this self-righteousness. But time, and I receive here seekers from all parts of life, from youth, then middles, then the last stages. And the last stages, they are very difficult, very sad to observe. But still, if it is what it is needed, then what to do? So for you, seeker of truth, that is in this condition of life, this taste for life, you're looking around you, and these structures, they say nothing to you. Because even if you're not a seeker of truth, just someone with common sense, you will look at this way of life, the values that people are following, and it's completely crazy. So common sense would do just a lot of the work. But the seeker of truth moves beyond this. And his focus is to get prepared, to humble himself as much as he can, to be worthy of guidance. And worthy in the sense that he may convince guidance to come, and then that he will not waste it, because this is also very important. See, because it's not that difficult to get guidance. It is not. The first time is always more easy. Then second time, it is more difficult. Third time seems impossible. You see? Because if you disrespect it, and if you're not aware that this guidance is more important than the breath in your body, then you will disrespect it. You will not honor that guidance. And that will just disappear for you to remember again. And the next time it will come, surely you will be at a stage where you will not waste it. And that means you have waited and waited and waited and waiting. And this brings a lot of suffering with this waiting. And this suffering, if everything goes well, it will help you to give the proper value to guidance. Give the proper value to guidance and not wasting this. So it's not only about getting guidance, because the work of getting guidance, it seems like this is what people usually do. They look at this master, that master, and I'm not talking about teachers and the quest for teachers, because this is a different movement and it's not in line with what I'm talking about. They don't even like the word master and all of this, and it's good for them. Fine, no problem. But this is for the ones that I'm talking about, not for the rest. So not only should you prepare for this, because instead of looking here and there and this master and that master and reading about it, it is, if you're not having guidance yet, it is the heart which is going to determine. But before it can really direct you, and you only move when this will direct you, before that, the preparation is not to look for the master, it is to prepare yourself for the master. So doing these things that I said before, praying, asking, working, going through your fears, you will need it, because the master is not a bunny rabbit, it's not a teddy bear, it is a lion. So if you go with your fears and expectations, human expectations, like the master is that father you never had, will take care of you and all of these things, then too much fragility and you'll not be able to stand. And as the master opens his mouth, it's not like a meow. It is a lion's roar. And this makes the room tremble. You see? So this fear has to be taken out, and to get prepared. Praying, asking for guidance, speaking to God, to appear to you, to come to your life, to embrace you, and to guide you towards truth. And pray also that when it comes, that it helps you not to give up, that it helps you not to disrespect guidance. Pray to be worthy and work for it. Because in a relationship with the Master, you will not understand. And it is very difficult and intense, and it goes through your pains, ripping everything out of there until only silence remains. See? So this is very intense. And this preparation is a need. And when you're prepared, your heart will direct you. So the quest for the teachings and the master and all of this, it's not that important. It's more important the preparation of yourself and the decision, because this seeker of truth, he may be stuck with life at some level. It has to be at some level, unless he has moved beyond this. But the majority that thinks that they have moved beyond this, they've not. They will figure it out sometime. Life takes time. But there must be an inner conviction and the willpower to stand to this conviction that I do not want anything else from this world. Only freedom, only truth. Because even freedom, truth is difficult, but mind is creative. Because even freedom may have these characteristics different. And if the meaning differs a little bit, you're feeding illusion with your work. So it is very complicated. Very complicated because the body-mind complex is designed not to question itself. This is anti-natural. You see? I mean in a deeper sense, not in a superficial sense. So if you're having this call, you must prepare yourself, make decisions, give your life to the quest. Forget about human undertakings. Work in this direction. Start intensely meditation. And with this, you will start dealing intensely with your fears, that which is making you dependent of that world, of the mundane world, of the mundane values and expectations. By going through this and using the world, because if you start doing these things, even in the spiritual places, they will call you a radical and lots of things and whatever. So use this as a means, because they are attacking your certainties, your fragilities, and your personality is trying to adapt and grow with it. So if you use these things and not defend yourself from them, they will help you. They will help you to be more prepared. So whatever is there that it is humiliating for you, it is good. But if you're fragile and you're looking just to improve your life, you will not have the structure of personality for this, because it will be too intense. You see? So use whatever humiliations are coming towards you. Use it, embrace them. Not by embracing them, it doesn't mean that you will not feel it. You will feel it intensely. More intensely because you're not defending yourself from it. This will have the biggest effect, you see? And it will make you strong. Strong in a different way. Not the strong to retain things, but to receive them. This is a very, a bigger strength. And this will be a need. And you can start speaking with your master also, and asking and praying. Because the road that leads you to the master is the road of love. Sometimes destiny takes you in very different ways, and then a lot of confusions are there. So this love is what makes things less turbulent, but turbulence will be there. It will be there. So this sacred relationship is very important, very important. So when you see this, or if you're seeing, or if you're going to see in the future and you have questions about this, send them, then we can go deeper into the subject. And there's no bad questions or difficult questions, they are just questions. And questions, they are like a door. See, they open both ways. So as you open the door to put the question, you are keeping it open to receive the answer. Sometimes the answer, it's not what you think it should be. Usually it's not, but it is what is needed. And teachings, you see, teachings are very nice, but they have nothing to do with guidance. Absolutely nothing to do with guidance. So in the beginning, the master gives the teachings, the disciple or who is trying to be is receiving the teachings, and in the mind of the disciple or the yet to be disciple, the teachings are the important, but it is not so. It is the connection, the bond, the bound. And for this to be pure, free from your human, mundane expectations, these pollutions that come and try to twist this divine relationship. For this to be pure, it has to be tested, and the master will test it. So if you're looking for a carrying figure, and you will find a different one, quite opposite, and then you decide. If you let your mind and your fears speak, then you if you listen to your heart, then you can move beyond this intense figure or attitude without much problems. And you will understand that the more it hurts, the more it helps. You see? But for this, strength has to be there. Strength has to be there. And this doesn't mean that the seeker of truth is a weakling. He is not. By far, he is not. And you can see this principle in life. See, the strongest fighters, they are very humble in the presence of their master, because they recognize the master. They know where it is. The weakling doesn't. And for him to be humbling himself, that's not real humility. It's just a means to an end. So the one who can acquire humility is the one who has experienced arrogance, who is strong, powerful. This one can discover real humility. Jacqueline, what do you mean by difficulty when you receive elder people? Well, I'm not understanding your question. If you can improve that question, I appreciate it, because not making sense. So if you can improve that, that will help a little bit. You mean by difficulty when you receive elder people? Maybe it's my accent. You see, my English, it's not my native language, so maybe it's the accent and you have understood something else apart from what I've said. Not sure. Or maybe it's not your language also, and we are making a salad uh, together. But let's wait a little bit. If you can clarify this, that will help a lot. So the quest for truth is a sacred path, is a sacred life, is a life devoted to sacredness. And the feet of the seeker of truth, they are the most, by far, sacred feet that exists. And these feet should not touch any other grounds than holy grounds. From the seeker of truth perspective, there is it is very difficult to find its master. A master, it's simple, whatever that means. Is master is difficult. You see? For the point of view of the master, it is very difficult, very difficult is not the word, unusual to see a seeker of truth. It's very rare. So sacredness has to be present, embraced, so that your process gets alive, and all of this goes to where it must be. Okay, seems it's coming, so let's see. So, as it is not coming, these questions about how will I survive and all of these things, this is for worldly minded people. You see, the hand of God is everywhere. It is up to you to find it. And if you're sincere, not running away from the world, but going after freedom, truth, then you will see this everywhere. You will not get what you think you need, but you will get what you need. And this relationship is very important. So as you deal with these mundane subjects, you are polluting your mind, making your path harder and harder. Okay, so Jacqueline, I mean, when they go for guidance, when they go to you for guidance, it's easier to work with younger people because this phone is not. Now technology is. Hmm? We will be able to answer this question, Jacqueline. We will get there eventually. I mean, when they go to you for guidance, it is easier to work with younger people because of all life has put in with all the conditioning. More conditioning might be more obstacles. The more conditioned, the harder to be free. Well, when you talk about seekers of truth, this is difficult to establish, to generalize. To generalize, you see, uh, if you generalize young people, they don't have so many conditionings, but they don't have the maturity of life experience. Generalizing, but you cannot generalize. Then the older ones, they have more obstacles, but they have a sense of what life is, the difficulties. They have experience and a little bit of wisdom. Life gives wisdom. Hmm? But you cannot generalize this. You see, you find all types of seekers of truth in every ages. And you find the opposite in also every ages. So generalizing this is more difficult. For the seeker of truth in his evaluation, you see, if the longer he waits and the more he plays with the subject, not taking this call for real, then it is more difficult for him. From the point of view of the master, when he looks, is it possible? Are you ready? Uh, is there something that can be worked? For example, not in general terms, but as the one who is presenting himself. You see, everybody can make the, theoretically, anyone can make the transition and be able and to be ready for this, to be to have the merit for this. This is another word that creates confusion, merit, but it is there. Don't if you think otherwise, well, you are mistaken. Merit is there and it is a part. So this young, old, each one will have its own his own things, and it is a solid. Each seeker, young, old, they have a particular world, and to shatter that, to help them to leave that all behind. Everyone is a different guidance. It's not general guidance. It is for each one there is a particular, and it has nothing to do with philosophies, not in the way that philosophies are understood. You see? So when things become serious and you get to this point, you will see what I'm talking about. But there's a video, I think, in the YouTube channel that speaks about this, because if there's any ideas that it is too soon or it is too late, well, this is the song of the mind, you see? When you're young, oh, I'm still young and this and that. But then I'm old and young is better. When they are when they're younger, they say, oh, when I'm a little bit older, more mature, then I will devote my life. When they get older, they say, now it's too late because I don't have the strength, too much obstacles, too much conditioning. So it is too late. So this is the same music that it is robbing your time. And for the seeker of truth, this is not an option. And this is for one I'm talking about. So if you're in this quest and you're for real, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for the guidance. Make yourself worthy, work intensely, remove fears as much as you can. And removing the fears is not by struggling intensely, it's by being present to them, by being exposed to the fears without moving, without trying to change the situation, but without trying to run from the situation, until that situation causes no more impressions in your mind. This is how you conquer fear. Not by acting, but by not acting, not being bullied. Because fear comes and says, boo, for you to do like this, to run away, to do things, certain specific things. So you have to be free from this. Because if you're not, even with the guidance, you will get one guidance, you will understand something else. Confusion. So guidance is saying this has to be worked now. And you will understand, oh, I don't have value enough, I'm being judged and all this. So it's confusion. So things have to be in the right place. It doesn't matter what is happening outside. You have to find your sacred road and go through it. Forget about the noises. Fill your life with sacredness. Don't waste your time with worldly goals. If they are important, there will be those for doing it. Don't worry with that. If you're in the quest for truth, saving the world is not for you. Don't worry. And by leaving it and not causing more confusion in it, you're already helping a lot that world. But the one who is in the quest for truth, sincere one, is giving much more help than the rest of the others together. So much for the answer, very clear. I understand. A guidance this morning for me, it speaks to me very clear. So now do the best with it. Don't waste it. And as you honor the guidance that comes, more guidance will come. You see, because what is the point of guidance to be there if the seeker is choosing, evaluating, and bargaining, and all of these things? No point. So as it comes and you feel it is guidance, use it and honor it. Okay. So we'll wait 5 more minutes to see if there are any more questions. If there's not, then we will end. So next satsang probably will be next Sunday, probably. But you will see there will be some changes where it is going to be transmitting, because probably it will be from the page and not from the profiles, but keep your eyes on the informations. All that matters is sacredness and reverence. Okay then. So till next satsang, make the best use of what you have heard, been hearing. Intensify your practices. Make the process alive and real. Let the world take care of itself. Take care of your sacred path. Till next time.